Reddit CEO confirms paywalled subreddits will be coming. Says r/assholedesign will be the first to go out of spite. The hint that got us all outraged is confirmed and we know where it's happening. Oh no. Oh god, if the owner of Reddit couldn't get any worse. Really now. Let's get these videos in before it happens, huh? If it's any consolation, this article was made nearly a year ago and it hasn't happened yet. However, there have been more recent articles saying the same thing, so... This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Patreon. My ex-employer is trying to pay me £450 for a month's worth of work. That's £800 less than I'm owed. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we're going to be returning to r/assholedesign. This is, as it sounds, a subreddit dedicated to designers and, you know, companies doing practices that are very much harmful to the consumer, but somehow not illegal. Although I do feel like some of these, while not illegal in the US, would possibly be illegal in other countries, just due to how dishonest some of them can be. Very quickly, before we begin, I just wanted to mention that, as always, if you join my YouTube members or patrons, you get one extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. So that's like 25p per video. So if you think that 4 extra videos is worth that, then please do consider joining my YouTube members and patrons. It genuinely helps a lot. Let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Modelo chocolates. Okay, not looking too bad. Looks like a nice box of chocolates. So basically this box is only half full of chocolates because the only chocolates in the box are the ones you can visibly see. Love that, love that. This is not stupid design. It was a deliberate decision to make the mouse useless while charging. Why? Perhaps you're annoyed that you have to pause your work and let it charge, so you'll buy another one as a backup. Also, if you use it long enough, its internal battery will deteriorate, offering progressively shorter work time. If it had the charging port in the front, you could leave it always attached and still use it, just downgrading your wireless mouse to a cable mouse. It would be acceptable for some people, but this way you have to buy a new one. Those are 2 potential chances for additional revenue with just one seemingly stupid design choice. It's the same as putting critical components next to heat sources in their laptops. Apple doesn't do stupid things, it does asshole things. This is why I exclusively won't buy Apple peripherals. Yes, I have Apple devices, okay? Worth noting, I have an iPhone and I have a MacBook Pro. However, the MacBook Pro is because using a MacBook when you produce music and videos is kind of indispensable, whether that be freelance, paid work, solo work, anything like that. You kind of need one, and the iPhone just pairs with it really. However, I don't use any other Apple products that I have bought. My earbuds are Anker, my headphones, my wireless headphones are Sennheiser, the headphones I'm currently wearing are Biodynamics, nothing else. Even I'm using a PC as well, not Apple. Apple devices, in terms of laptops and things, are pretty solid. Maybe not for the price, but you know, in the job market that I'm in, you have to make that concession, right? But peripherals, no. Even down to Leo bought an Apple Watch Ultra and it lasted a month before he had to send it back and get a refund. He replaced it with a Garmin dive watch that works as a smartwatch and a dive watch, and no issues. It's fine. It didn't try and blow up on him. So, you know, these are the things that happen. Low-cost airlines will officially launch standing-only seats in 2026 after finally passing safety evaluations. This is horrible, actually. I really hope that no one takes these. Unfortunately, I know that people will because they'll be cheaper. Although, I guarantee they won't be cheaper for that long. What will happen is the cheapest airline seats you can currently get, that price will now be tagged to these seats. The seats that used to cost that price will now cost more. Basically, airlines are going to force you to go into this route, but won't actually let you take this route for cheaper because consumers, I guess. So this one, could you imagine going to your employer, going to your boss and saying, yeah, sorry, I'm late. My car had an update. I said this in a previous video, I think, but if your car's operation is tied to the OS, that is an issue, especially given how rocky car OSs can be, how unresponsive they can be. Your car's functions should not be tied to it. By all means, tie the music player and the aircon and whatever to it if you have to, but the actual function of the car, the driving, the assisted steering features, should not be tied to the OS. Even if it's an electric car, these specific functions should work without the car having an updated OS or while the car is updating, especially given how frequent it's been that these updates fail and then brick your car. Lows. Give the delivery team a 10. These are a 0. Positive, 9 to 10. This would be an instant 0 for me. Honestly, even if I had a good experience with your delivery, this would be an instant 0 for me because you've put this card on me where you're saying anything below a 9 is a 0 to us. Okay then, I guess you won't have an issue with it being a 0 instead of an 8 because chances are your delivery would have just been an 8. Jumbo rectangular reusable containers, 2-pack, 1 container and 1 lid. This infuriates me because of how misleading this is. How deliberately misleading this is. It's not a 2-pack, is it? A lid doesn't count as a container in a container 2-pack. What? Huh? Who the f is like, I bought a 2-pack. So glad I got a tub with a lid. A 2-pack would be 2 tubs and 2 lids. I can't even order a coffee without downloading an app in LaGuardia Airport. What public official approved this contract? I don't want this app on my phone. This is the airport. We are trapped customers. We should be able to order a coffee without apps. The most frustrating part about this is it's literally there to gather your data, right? The second you put this on your app, it'll ask you to share your data with it, and then they'll start selling your data for money. So basically, by downloading this app just to order at Starbucks, they get your Starbucks money and then they get your data money, which is what all of these apps are for. All of them. I hate them. I despise them. Airports especially are the worst place for things like this because yeah, you're trapped. You can't leave. You're waiting on a plane. So if this is the only way you can get food, you've got no other option. And that's so fucking scummy for them to do that because it makes them money by selling your data and shit. I despise this. I despise it so much. And this is just to buy a coffee that probably costs you like $15 for a basic coffee because you're in an airport, you know? Unlock all movies and TV shows. Choose any ad-free plan to access all of Netflix. This is frustrating because you're already paying for a streaming service, which they've already made you pay more to get rid of ads. They've gone, oh, the amount you're paying, no longer ad-free, you've got to pay extra for that. And then they go, oh, I'm sorry, but because of ads, you actually don't get access to all of the content. I was reading the comments about this one because this came up before, and basically it's to do with licensing, and the way licensing works is if you are showing content with ads, not all content can be licensed under ads. So that in itself is asshole design. The whole system of licensing and going, oh, if it relies on ads, you can't access it is shitty. But then to deliberately utilize that on a platform that already was ad-free to go, you have to pay extra to go ad-free. And also, you no longer have access to our whole library unless you go ad-free is so scummy. It's so incredibly scummy. And unfortunately, every streaming service is going this way. It's so scummy. Please do not use the minibar to store personal items. Minibar and snack tray items are placed on sensors and removing them will cause a charge to apply. To keep personal items or medication refrigerated, please dial X0 for assistance. Please refer to the refreshment center menu for a full price list. And then this is what that minibar looks like. This is so scummy because this minibar, which charges you based on a very minor sensor change, isn't covered. If you slightly trip up or slightly nudge that table, causing the items on that table to move, they are not secured in place, they are not covered, you'll be charged. And we all know that these minibars are extortionate. They'll charge you like $5 for a tube of Pringles, which is insane for a tube of Pringles that size. At the very least, put it somewhere that it can't be knocked and is secure. Ridiculous. You'd have to argue with someone at customer service to go, I didn't eat anything from the minibar, I nudged it, which is ridiculous. And if you didn't even know, you'd be leaving, you'd get your receipt and you'd go, where the f did this $20 minibar charge come from? I didn't eat anything. Like, you wouldn't even know. And the text on the minibar is so incredibly tiny, you can't even see it in the second picture. No kid should ever have to sleep on the streets. Agreed. Ironic that they put this poster on a bench with anti-homeless measures on it. The complete tone-deaf irony of doing that just baffles me. Jeep puts an ad covering my entire screen, and it comes back every time you stop, even if you hit OK. Purchase peace of mind. It's an ad for a FlexiCare premium thing. This, I feel like, should be illegal because these screens are already distracting enough. They're already a problem enough that, you know, you go from muscle memory hardwired buttons to change your music or change your climate control or do things like that to having a screen which you have to take your attention off of the the road to use, already a safety hazard. But if you're putting an ad every time I stop my car, so I have to take my eyes off of the road, get rid of your ad every single time before I need to drive or do something, especially if it's covering a map, that's a hazard. That shouldn't be allowed. This one's wild. This is a gas pump that has a screen on it playing ads. The hilarious part about this one though is that the ad is an ad for a gas pump with an ad on it. I'm guessing they haven't gotten any ads on it yet. Like, no one's gone and paid to have their ad put on this gas pump, so they're just playing the default one that comes with the screen. But it's just really funny to me that they're advertising the products you're currently using to consumers, not to the company, to the consumer who's pumping gas, who is never going to buy an advertising gas pump. But also, this is a dystopic nightmare that you can't even pump your car with while avoiding ads. Like, advertising has become such a pervasive industry that they will do literally everything they can to make sure you can never escape ads, you know? You go to the beach and you've now got tugboats pulling ads across the water. They're plastered on the buildings. They're put on your fuel pumps. Soon enough, you're not going to be able to escape them no matter where you are, you know? They're in your car. Like, we're living in a dystopia. We're living in the worst dystopia already. This is Black Mirror. This is just, we're living in Black Mirror like. Dear Echo customer, we are reaching out to let you know that the Alexa feature, do not send voice recordings, that you enabled on your supported Echo devices will no longer be available beginning March 28th, 2025. This feature allowed compatible Echo devices to process the audio of Alexa requests locally on the device. As we continue to expand Alexa's capabilities with generative AI features that rely on the processing power of Amazon's secure cloud, we have decided to no longer support this feature. This is scummy in so many ways. Not only is this a violation of your privacy based on something you have previously agreed on, it's Amazon. So basically, the device that you have, it was always listening to you, so you could turn on a feature that said, hey, even if you're always listening to me, don't send those voice recordings to Amazon. Now, Amazon is going, hey, you have to send us your voice recordings because we're using AI and you can't opt out of the AI. That's something you have to use and you have to send us your voice so that they can gather all of your voice data against your will and you can't say no about it because it's in their agreement and they told you. We have an Alexa. We don't use it very much. We basically just use it for timers downstairs and cooking and like occasionally music, but maybe this is going to put me off using it a little. This cereal advertises as having 13 grams of protein, but the nutrition info on the side shows it only has 5.6 grams. The other 7.4 grams of protein is only if you add milk. I don't know if this is in the UK or not, and I really hope it's not because I feel like this would actually be illegal in the UK just based on our product and advertising laws. I feel like they can't put something on the box that says it's containing this much if it doesn't itself contain that much, but god is that a scummy move. Yeah, it's high in protein if you add milk, which you add to most cereal, I'm sure. Really, really scummy. Does it even have an asterisk anywhere? Nope, no it does not. It does say it's a meal replacement though. Yeah, replace a meal with Kellogg's cereal. Does it say anywhere in this picture on the box other than, you know, the actual ingredients list, how much it's got in it? No, it doesn't have an asterisk. It doesn't say like, oh, it actually only contains this much. That's so cheap. That's so scummy. Disney Plus updating their user agreement. We are clarifying that, as we continue to increase the breadth and depth of the content we make available to you, circumstances may require that certain titles and types of content include ads, even in our no ads or ad-free subscription tiers. This is ultimate scum. Not only do they charge you more for the no ads or ad-free versions, but now they're putting ads in them anyway. That's it. That's the line. I'm so sorry, headphone users, but Pirates of the Caribbean it is. It's a pirate's life for me, savvy. Yeah, I haven't used a streaming service in some time now, and I have no intention of going back. They don't need to get my money. They simply don't. And you know what? I haven't missed a thing. And the final post, uBlock Origin. This extension is no longer available because it doesn't follow best practices for Chrome extensions. Now, to anybody that thinks this is scummy, it is. But there are other Chromium browsers that uBlock Origin still works on. Opera, for example. Not sponsored. Hey Opera, sponsor me. I actually do use Opera GX, and uBlock still works. So does it works on Firefox as well. I don't think Firefox uses Chromium, but it still works on Firefox. It even works on Edge. Don't use Microsoft Edge, but it works. It's just Chrome. It's just Google going, we need to make money off of ads. But any other Chromium browser, uBlock still works on. So, you know, basically Google, you're pushing users away from your platform. Good job. But that is where I'm going to end the video. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. As always, if you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on the join channel. You can click on the join button to join the channel. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me though. All of you are amazing, and it genuinely helps so much, especially as I mentioned, an ex-employer that I may have to take to court over money. So yay. If you do support the channel, you get 4 extra videos every single month. That's 1 video every week for as low as £1. That's a video for 25p. So if you think that is worth it, please do consider joining, because it genuinely helps a lot. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.